Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's September 9th, 1999. And guess what, everybody? It's a 90210 episode, and we are live.
You're not live.
Well, no. The episode aired yesterday, but we are finally, after 10 long seasons, in real time, in time for the last season of Beverly Hills 90210. We start off by trying to, I guess, trade on Star Wars Mania by titling this episode The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense for the episode either.
What's the Phantom Menace?
Yeah, they don't say anything about the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No. So, yeah.
But we pick up with the...
We pick up. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
I was going to say something else, and you know how you do that when you go to say one thing and it comes out the other way and you adopt an English accent?
Sure. That happens to all of us.
Oh, come on. I feel like the entirety of English was somebody trying to say something else and it coming out.
Oh, my goodness.
That's where that accent came from.
Sure.
I mean, how else do you explain? Hey, governor. That's someone trying to say, hey, Gomer or something.
Wow.
Anyway, so we pick up where we left off with Kelly standing over a dead body because she has gunned down her rapist.
Yeah. So, and it's weird to have an episode actually pick up where it left off because usually, or like the season finale and the season premiere, usually they act like there's been a time lapse.
Yeah, usually, like the normal thing to have happened would have been for us to start the episode and Kelly to be like sitting by the beach with Matt or something like that and be like, crazy how they arrested me for a minute because I shot that guy. But but Kelly, but they let you go because it was self-defense. And that's like it would have just been an exposition scene of the two of them telling us what because you know that great axiom, tell, don't show.
But they actually did show us this time, so...
Yeah, kudos to them. They're learning in the last season of the show. Yeah? Oh, wow.
Goodness.
Sorry,
guys.
Keeping you up?
Yes. So Kelly and Matt both got handcuffed and brought in, which I thought it was funny, too. While they're on the ground, and Kelly's like, why are they doing this? Mm-hmm. And Matt's like, I am this woman's lawyer. You're on the ground being handcuffed. How do you know you don't need a lawyer? Now is not the time to introduce yourself as the lawyer.
Right.
Crazy.
Hi, everyone. I'm the lawyer. But yeah, they don't actually arrest him. They do put him in cuffs.
Yeah.
He makes his way down from his office and sees the aftermath of what's going on. There are also a few people milling about outside, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shopping mall during the day. That's the craziest part about this. What did this man think was going to happen?
Seriously.
Like, broad daylight, surrounded by people, and he locks the door and pulls out a knife. It is not like you locked her in a normal room.
No.
It was a glass room.
Yeah, and you know the saying, people in glass rooms should not be raped.
What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure that's a saying.
Sure.
But, you know, play stupid games and win stupid prizes, and this guy did.
Yes, he did. So she unloaded that gun, 6 bullets.
Yeah, nice.
He got shot 3 times.
Yeah, so she's 50%. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
At point blank range, as they say.
But he was pronounced dead on the scene, so good for her.
Yep, he's gone. But she does get arrested. There's an interrogation. An actor who I recognize from an episode of Seinfeld plays the detective. That's somewhat distracting. But he's like, did you tell him to stand back? Did you tell him he had a gun? Like, he's asking her all these stupid questions, like, did you say no? And she's like, I don't remember. And Matt points out, he's like, yeah, she had a gun. Like, go away is implied. Which is true. And, like, it's pretty much every, I haven't read California's actual law. Sorry, I didn't go down to a California law library and look up the statute, everybody. But I know Michigan's statute, and most statutes for self-defense in every state are essentially, if you have a reasonable expectation that you are in grave bodily danger or going to be killed, then you are allowed to act in self-defense up to and including lethal force without retreating. That is the law. And there's no, you have to tell him, hey, I'm going to kill you. Like, there's no burden on the victim for self-defense. Now, it's somewhat open for interpretation what a reasonable expectation is, but he had a knife, he locked the door, he previously raped her. That's the textbook definition of self-defense.
Right. And what did he say to her? Something along the lines of, we're going to have some fun. I mean, that's pretty fucking threatening. Mm-hmm. And they asked, did he threaten to kill you? And she's like, well, not then, but when he raped me, he did. So, I mean, like, fuck. Like, not only did he rape her, he did threaten to kill her before, too.
No, it's open and shut. They are somewhat reasonable, I suppose, with how they act or how they react, the cops react in this episode. But I feel like in real life that she would have spent an hour or two. I mean, murder's serious, obviously, but she would have spent an hour or two talking to the police, being interrogated by the police. She has no record. Like, she's not a criminal. She's not someone that's just going to start shooting someone randomly. And, like, all this stuff. I feel like she would have been let go fairly quick.
It's not like they kept her for days. It's not like she was, like, fully booked and put into the, population.
No, but she was there for hours.
She was there overnight.
Yeah, that's a long time.
But, I mean, how fast do you think the police move? I mean, seriously. This is, like, Los Angeles County, right? It's Orange County.
No, Beverly Hills is Beverly County, actually.
But I'm just saying, like, in Detroit, they don't move that fast. I don't know about this big city, but...
Yeah. Well, she's rich and white. I mean, come on. Let her go.
Yeah.
We've earned it.
What?
We took this land.
Oh, my God.
But anyway, yeah, and Matt says, because they're like, what the fuck was he even there? You're saying it's just a coincidence? And Matt was like, no, he was there because of me. Like, Matt's taking it very personally. Mm-hmm. He's really down on himself. Like, no, he was there because of me. He was my client. I kept him out of jail. It's important to note he kept him out of jail after he raped Kelly.
Yeah.
It's not like he kept him out of jail, then he raped Kelly, like, where he could feel some guilt towards that situation.
No, but he feels guilty because he sent him down to the store. He told him to go get something for his girlfriend at that store.
I mean,
but he didn't know.
No, and he didn't know he was a violent criminal in any way. He was accused of stealing a TV or a stereo or something like that.
So yeah, I don't think she should be mad at him, and I don't think she is mad at him.
Well, it seemed like she was mad at him at the beginning, but then, like, later she says, I don't blame you, I don't blame me. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I wish I could believe that or whatever. I wish that was true or something like that. But I really think she's trying not to. I don't know if they're going to bring it up as a storyline in the next few episodes or whatever, but I feel like she's being at least somewhat reasonable here. Yeah,
she's very traumatized. That's the main thing that they're going to grapple with is, like, he accidentally broke a vase and it really, freaked her out. Like, she was remembering the glass breaking when she shot. And then she cut her hand trying to clean it up and the blood. And she sees blood because they had to clean up the, now wear this, the store.
Yeah. Well, that was funny because what's her name? Donna says to one of the police detectives, "So you just come by and clean it up later?" Or it's like there are companies that do that, but well, it'll be easier if you do it yourself.
Yeah,
like basically saying like we don't do that shit. They don't either.
Yeah, like the police are not. They don't go around cleaning up after crimes.
They're not janitors.
I don't know what shit. Like that's just such the privileged white chick thing to say. So you're gonna come clean up the mess, right?
But there are companies that make a lot of money doing like biohazard cleanup and stuff like that from like horrific crime scenes and stuff.
Sure, and I mean, like I'm sure it was horrifying cleaning up the blood.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the clothes were ruined.
They take the body.
Yeah,
At least they do that.
They do take the body.
You don't have to dispose of that. But yeah, so a lot of it is like you said, talking about her whatever trauma from this incident. Janet weirdly at one point's like, a man's dead. Somehow they all know he's the one that raped her. I don't know exactly how that happens because they started like a phone tree or whatever, like calling people like, hey, fucking, she's been involved in a shooting or whatever. I guess Matt must have said.
Yeah, he was going out there giving them updates, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so Matt must have told them who he was, but it is weird that they all of a sudden know, and like, because Steve's like, fuck that dude. What he did, he deserves to die or whatever. And Janet's like arguing against him. Is that one of the things she thinks he's childish about? I mean, we'll get to that.
Maybe.
We'll get to that later, but that's not a childish point of view, by the way. But she's like, a man's dead, just because you raped our friend doesn't mean he deserves to die. And it's like, Steve's like, rapists don't get like very tough sentences or whatever. So like, she's like, oh, so he deserves to die? And it's like,
I mean, this one especially did because he threatened to kill her, and then he was going to like hurt and or kill and or rape her again.
I think he was going to rape and kill her.
Yeah,
that's what I think was going to happen. But and I don't know how I thought he was going to get away with it, but whatever. Doesn't matter now because he's dead.
Right, he's not the brightest.
But yeah, it's there aren't many Mensa members going out raping people.
Right.
Yes, right. I mean, I guess, I don't know, I shouldn't stereotype. I'm sure there are some very intelligent, horrible people there, but Ted Bundy supposedly had like a super high IQ, but...
eventually they did give up on the homicide thing, but she's still in trouble.
Well, yeah, potentially.
Because the gun was unregistered and stolen.
Yeah, that's no good. Like... I didn't even think about that, but Dylan gave her that gun.
Yeah.
And she was just like, okay, I'll just keep it in my purse. It's like, that's not how guns work. You have to register a firearm. That's a felony.
And these people all have money. I mean, especially Dylan. Kelly works for a living.
Right.
Dylan doesn't. Why not just go buy a gun and make it legal?
Yeah. Go out and buy her a gun. Like, our California's gun laws can't be that tough, right? Like... Is there a waiting period? I mean, I honestly don't know what California's gun laws are, but whatever. It seems ridiculous. So yeah, somehow Dylan came into. Oh, that's right. He purchased it like in the first like episode of season 9 or whatever. He purchased that from some dude in a car to go threaten the people that now live in that one dude's house.
He was going to use it to go kill his ex-father-in-law.
Yeah, who he found out later had moved or died. Died.
Killed himself, I think.
Yeah, he killed himself. That's right. But yeah, so that's where that gun came from. They let him keep that gun? They arrested him.
Yeah,
They arrested him for that crime. They either didn't find or let him keep that weapon.
Well, no, that doesn't even make any sense because it would have been unregistered and all that. Then maybe it's a different gun.
So you just went up to the same guy in a car. You got another gun?
Oh, they're not great at tying up their loose ends on this show.
No, they really aren't. But anyway, so that's what happened with her, with the gun. And they're talking about, hey, they make some half-assed... Listen. We don't want to get political, everyone.
Uh-oh.
But I may or may not agree with the sentiment that we need better gun control in this country and that I'm a believer in the Second Amendment. I'm just saying, I think that Canada has a lot of gun laws that make a lot of sense that we don't use. But anyway, so they turn this into like some half-assed gun control sermon for a second because the DA doesn't want to press charges against her for the firearm. I don't think she'd go to jail. Like, I heard one guy on one of those shows that they talk to criminals and stuff like that. They were like, what would you have to do to get arrested? Like, if it was your first offense, first thing you ever did, how far would you have to go to get arrested? And they were like, steal a car? And he was like, nah, you wouldn't go to jail if you stole a car. First offense.
Really?
Apparently, Grand Theft Auto, he's like, you'd get probation, you'd get fines, you'd get like time suspended and stuff. But like, he doesn't think you'd go to actual jail if you steal a car, if it's your first offense.
So, okay, hang on though. Because there's a big difference between being arrested and serving time.
You'd get arrested.
Okay.
He's not saying they wouldn't arrest you. They'd be like, you know what? You get one free one. You'd get arrested. You'd get charged with a crime, but you wouldn't go to jail.
Okay.
Is what he's saying. Because they were like, he basically said, if it was your first offense, you'd have to, like, armed robbery. Like with a gun, with a knife, like something violent where you could potentially hurt somebody, then you'd go to jail.
Okay.
But if it was even in your first offense, because he was saying like first offense, they give a lot of leeway. So she wouldn't have gone to jail, I don't think, for this felony firearm charge, but it would have been a felony charge.
Yeah. And
she would have had probation, community service, lost her right to vote. You know, probably also lost her right to ever own a gun.
You know, I'm kind of surprised I didn't get arrested for like trespassing when I was trespassing.
Yeah.
Because I kind of always thought that if it was anything other than like traffic, like if it was a criminal charge, they would arrest you.
Not always, no.
No, but they did not. They just gave me a ticket. It's weird. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, so, well, I mean, I think a lot of people I knew back in the day got MIPs, you know those?
Mm-hmm, minor in possession.
Yeah. So, and that's not a traffic offense, but they don't arrest you for that. It's like, it's a fine, you know, or whatever. But anyway, so the DA doesn't want to press charges, but the cops do. And so Matt comes down and he's like, what the fuck? DA doesn't want to press charges and you're pushing him to press charges. And he's like, gun control works. Keeps guns off the street, keeps our officers safe and stuff like that. And it's like, I agree with all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's stupid and misplaced in this episode where a gun saved her life.
Yeah.
You know, like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth here, where you're saying like, hey, good thing she had this gun or else she would have been raped and killed, which is Matt's arguments. But they're also trying to say, hey, gun control works. And it's like, yes, gun control does work. It is also good sometimes, especially if you're in a dangerous situation, to protect yourself.
Right.
But, like, it's weird to talk out of both sides of your mouth in this episode. So, anyway, he convinces him not to. And rightly so, because she's not a threat. She's not a gun control threat. She's not a threat to buy another illegal gun. She's not going to start a collection. You know, she's not going to do crimes with guns. It's just that it's very easy to tell she's not the one you want to keep guns out of the hands of.
The only reason she wanted the gun was to keep herself safe from this guy, and he's dead now. So she doesn't need the gun anymore at all.
Exactly. It served its purpose. Yeah. So most of everybody is like trying to support her and everything. Valerie is the one exception.
There's no Valerie.
Sorry. Gina is the one exception, I guess. I get my brunettes confused.
Oh my goodness.
It's not like she's trying to be mean to her or something like that, but there's this reporter that wants to talk to somebody about the crime, and she's like, look, I'm going to report about it either way. You might as well get on TV, huh?
Which is so stupid. And so they obviously chopped up whatever she said, too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they have her saying something about, like, oh, it kind of freaks me out to live with somebody who killed someone.
Right.
Awful. But
Yeah.
Obviously out of context, too.
Right, and that's like a internal thought she made external.
Yeah.
She was doing stream of consciousness, and they were just like, they cut it up to... It was almost like they were like, if your roommates and friends could see this, what's the most damning and incriminating things you could say?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it was bad.
So, we'll get to the aftermath of that later.
We will?
Yeah, why not?
What aftermath?
What happens when they see it on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Because they do see it on TV.
Well, let's just get to it now.
All right, get to it. Yeah, because her storyline, Gina's storyline is pretty much non-existent. She apologizes to David and says, "Oh, we're friends, though." And he's like, "Oh, great, thanks."
And so she ends up getting kicked out of the Malibu Barbie Beach house when they see what she said about Kelly.
Yeah, Tori Spelling's like, "Fuck, get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here."
you're done.
My dad's producer on the show.
But so that just means that Dylan also gets kicked out. David kicks Dylan out of their house. So her and Dylan end up going to live in the hotel again that Dylan
Dylan lived in when we first met him.
Yes. Crazy.
And David has one of the best lines, I think, the entire episode. He's talking to Donna, and Donna's like, "Well, you kicked him out because of Gina or whatever. What is it about her?" And he's like, "I kicked Dylan out because of Dylan." And that's 100% true.
Yeah.
That's what no one... Like, David's the only one that's getting what an asshole his character has become in the past, like, I don't know, season or so.
Yeah, he is. He's a terrible person.
And they need to address... I think they're going to address it.
I hope so.
And they need to. Like, I feel like they're at least going in that direction, and I think there's going to be some big reckoning and like some big, I don't know, mea culpa and the dreams of Dylan McKay or something.
Oh God.
Where he reveals like, "I'm in so much pain, someone help me."
He's done that already. It didn't help.
Yeah, well. They got to do something big because it's the last season, you know?
Yeah.
And we've run out of ideas.
Well, I'm sure they're going to get him and Kelly together, and I'm sure they're going to get David and Donna together.
You think him and Kelly are going to get together, huh?
I do. I really do.
David and Donna, I could kind of see, I guess, because she's officially done with Noah, who's fucking someone named Charisse now.
A waitress from the bar or the club or whatever.
And she breaks up with, I think, officially...
Wayne, I think his name was.
Yeah, that's his name, Wayne. Stately Wayne Manor.
This poor guy, like, he gave up his volleyball, like, tournament life that he was going to have for the summer so that he could be with her. And he's trying to be nice and supportive. Like, she's all stressed out about, "I've got to be there for Kelly. I've got to be there for Kelly." She invites him to go to the beach with her and her friends because they're having a big thing to support Kelly on, and they're trying to, like, distract Kelly by taking her to the beach.
Right.
And he's like, "I don't really want to do that, but when you're done with that, let's, run a movie and get dinner." And she's so offended and like, "What is wrong with you? How could you, think I'd want to do that? I've got to be there for my friend."
Right.
Every minute, Donna? Like...
Yeah, like, we understand Kelly's going through a hard time, and it's important for you to be there for your friend. But it's also important to take time for yourself, too.
Right.
You have many friends that are all, like, pitching in. She has a boyfriend that she can spend time with, too. You can't pull yourself away for a few hours, like 2-3 hours to spend with your new boyfriend or whatever. And, like, yeah, she acts like it's the fucking worst thing in the world. And you can see from Wayne's perspective, it's like, he doesn't know Kelly.
Yeah.
Or any of these other friends. And it's like, "Hey, do you want to meet my friends for the first time when we're consoling the other one who was recently raped that she murdered her rapist?" No, that's not an ideal situation to meet your friends.
And, like... I think, like you said, I think he's lying about having quit for any reason but her.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Because she says something like, "Oh, I thought you were starting to work at the bike shop or whatever." And he's like, "Turns out I don't work till next week." And I'm thinking, like, that job doesn't exist at all.
And, like, she's talking about how, I just got out of a serious relationship. I know you gave stuff up for me, but, I don't want you to be disappointed. I don't really want anything big. And he's like, I just want to have fun.
Right.
He's lying.
Yeah.
Like, he just wants to have fun with you until you fall in love with him, and then he'll make you yours. Make you his, I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it all is done for Wayne now.
And David seems like he agrees with her. He, like, makes fun of him at the beach. He's like, why don't we just go run a movie? And it's like, all of them they have their heads so far up their own asses.
Yeah.
Or each other's asses.
Yeah, well, I think David's making fun of him because, he wants Donna. And so he's just like, yeah, he's stupid, haha.
He does like say like, oh, Wayne was a fling or whatever. It's understandable. And she's like, yeah, it just cost me my relationship with Noah. Yeah. And he's probably like,
Yeah.
But because his relationship with Gina is gone.
And her relationship with Noah is really the only thing keeping them apart. So.
Right.
And now Wayne's out of the picture. Yeah, he's going to get in there.
I think so. I think he's going to try to anyway. He should.
One more thing about David, though.
Yeah.
He looks different. I feel like he finally finished, like, growing over the, 9 years the show's been on. Like, how guys can grow until they're, like, 25, right? Like, I think that's, like, the max. And
you mean, like, grow in height and stuff like that?
And, like, build and stuff.
Penis size?
Whatever. I
believe it. I believe 25 is... Most stop at 18, but I think 25 is, yeah.
I feel like he continued to, like, grow somewhat.
Yeah, I think he was a late bloomer.
And it's weird because, again, we didn't have any time pass, but he looks completely different than he did last season.
I don't know if I would say completely different, but...
He looks different. His hair's different.
He's more handsome now. He's finally grown into an adult, handsome face.
You think he's handsome, huh?
Yeah, I think so, don't you?
Yeah, he is. But, yeah, it was just kind of weird. It's like, you look all different.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm trying to think, because all the storylines sort of wrap up with Kelly's storyline. The whole thing with Wayne is Donna's part in it. The whole thing with Valerie is...
There's no Valerie.
I'm sorry. Gina. I can't get Tiffany Amber Thiessen out of my head.
Apparently.
Sorry. The whole thing with Gina is like Gina and Dylan and Gina and David is kind of wrapped up in that too,
Mm-hmm.
I think the only other storyline is
Steve and Janice.
Steve and Janice.
I don't like her. Like, so much, I just don't like her.
I really hate how they write Steve's girlfriends.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they really try to give them the worst personality traits. Like, they make them nice at first, and then they're like, now turn them evil. It's so weird.
But yeah, she's, like, not being nice to him at all. She never is.
Looking for another job, too. Mm-hmm. She says, like, at the beginning, there's a phone call, and she's like, oh, she grabs the phone right away. And she's like, oh, yeah, just a minute. And then she goes over to her desk, and she's like, hey, can I have some privacy? He's like, who's on the phone? And she's like, doesn't matter. Like, and she keeps avoiding that question. At one point, he's like, who is on the phone?
Yeah.
And she's just like, this isn't about the phone. I want a cubicle.
Yeah. She's like, we are on top of each other all of the time, and I need space. I need privacy. Yeah, she's being weird. He's like, I'm going to go down to the peach pit and wait for you to regain your sanity.
Yeah.
And then I got the impression she broke up with him.
Well, she comes to his house, and she's all, like, crying and stuff like that. And she's like, I don't think this thing between the two of us is working. And blah, 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 blah. And, like, all this stuff and everything. And then we just kind of cut to he's at the beach. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I agree. I thought, like, oh, it's done.
And then somebody asked where she is, and he's like, oh, she'll be along later. She's busy today or whatever. Like some kind of excuse.
She's getting the paper out.
Yeah, that was it.
This is after he finds out that she applied for a job at the Chronicle because they call him for a reference. Because, of course, they're going to call her current employer. Mm-hmm. And they're like, the interview went great. And he's like, yeah, well, you'd be lucky to have her. And somehow she doesn't get the job.
Yeah, it's weird. So she runs into Kelly at the peach pit. Mind you, everyone is waiting for Kelly at the beach right now.
Yeah.
And she says to Janet, let me take you out to celebrate. Mm-hmm. Oh, because, I'm sorry, let's back it up. Janet's crying. Janet's sad and crying and admits to Kelly that she's pregnant, which we suspected a couple of episodes ago, but we were like, oh no, she drank, so she's not pregnant.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. If she drank, I forgot about that.
And then
she's 4 months pregnant.
She tells Kelly she's 4 months pregnant, that there's this huge early miscarriage thing in her family, so she didn't think she'd stay pregnant.
Maybe it's because you all drink
when
you're pregnant.
So weird.
This baby's eyes are going to be right next to each other.
Oh my god. But yeah, so Kelly's just like, oh, let me take you out to celebrate. And like, she's just sitting there chilling with her. And like, dude, you've got like 20 people on the beach waiting for you. The fuck?
And she's like, so Janet's like, I keep trying to assess whether or not Steve will be a good dad or a good husband, whether I want him to even be the dad to this baby. And she's like, and every time I think like he does something good, he does something immature, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, she says he's childish. And like you said, she mentions that, you know, he does something childish. What did he do this episode? The only thing he could possibly have done was defending Kelly.
Yeah, which is not childish.
No. So I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
It's ridiculous.
But she's pregnant with his baby, has not told him or anyone but Kelly.
Kelly's like, so I guess he's having this baby no matter what he thinks.
Right.
Because she's 4 months pregnant.
And Steve's all upset on the beach. And Kelly goes over and she's like, oh, you know, things might turn around for you.
She's like, I've got a feeling no matter what happens, it's going to be a great year for you.
I disagree. Like, if Janet doesn't stay with him, I think it'll be a pretty shitty year no matter what.
Yeah.
Just getting a baby at the end of it doesn't mean it's going to be a great year.
I think he would be very excited to be a dad.
I think so too. I think Steve would make an excellent husband and father.
I think he would be the best of the boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, he helped the one ex-girlfriend who had a kid. He helped her with the kid.
Yeah, and what's her name? I can't fucking think of her. Carly was her name on the show.
Yeah.
I can't think of the actress's name, but she's in a movie we're going to be watching in like 3 weeks. It's coming out in like 3 weeks.
Boys Don't Cry?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway.
It's about boys.
Who don't cry.
Yeah, apparently. I guess. I don't know. Maybe they do cry.
But
maybe there's a twist. Did M. Night Shyamalan direct this movie? Maybe there's a twist.
Right. I don't think things are going to go well for Steve.
No, I don't think so either.
I think Janet's a bitch.
I'm very disappointed with her.
Yeah.
4 months to keep that secret. Unconscionable.
I mean, no wonder she's been so weird.
Yeah.
She's had her emotions everywhere.
But when was this child conceived? I mean, 4 months ago, obviously, but like, where does that put it in the timeline? Just some random hookup, or was it like when they were in his car?
Yeah, like when they're on that mountain, like chaperoning.
Yeah, or when they were in the walk-in freezer from that haunted place the first time they had sex. Like, how long ago was it?
Right.
Like, what was 4 months ago in this show's timeline?
Who knows? I mean, assuming they're supposed to be in our timeline, then it would have been in May.
Yeah, I guess so.
So.
Well, anyway, so that is the episode for the week, everyone. We've got a lot of things to cover in the next, whatever, I don't know, 20-some episodes that they have left. Exciting stuff. Carol, tell people where they can get their own gun unregistered.
No. You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. Mm-hmm. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Oh, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.